Yes, you are welcome everyone to this wonderful tutorial. Today we want to look at the PHP syntax. Now before we get to the PHP syntax, let us arrange our environment. So the first thing you need to do before you start writing your code is to start your XAMPP server. Like I said earlier in previous class, I'm using the XAMPP server. This is my XAMPP server. I want to start my server, start the Apache for database and start the MySQL for using XAMPP. So my server has just get started. Then the next thing, I'll go to my local Dixie. Then go to, since I'm using XAMPP, I'll click on XAMPP. Then htdocs folder. Then inside this folder, I'll create a folder. Create a new folder inside my htdocs. I'll call this folder, let me call it PHP tutorial. PHP tutorials. Okay, so I'll open this PHP tutorial in my Visual Studio code. So let me open that in my Visual Studio code. So I'll come here and open that folder in my Visual Studio code. So PHP tutorial, which is this. Okay, so I have my PHP tutorials folder. Inside this PHP tutorial, I'll create a new file. I can call it anything. Let me call it index.php. Index.php. So from here you can see that the PHP syntax, the extension must be .php, which I've just done. Index.php, that is the extension you must use, .php. So let's look at the other one. PHP code is written between opening tag and closing tag. Whenever you write your PHP code, make sure it's inside the opening tag and closing tag. This is this opening tag for PHP, and this is the closing tag for PHP. Any PHP code you write must be inside the opening and closing tag. For example, this is a PHP code. I just wrote my name. This is a valid PHP code. You can see it is written inside the opening tag and the closing tag. That is what those lines are saying. So all PHP code should be inside the tag. Any PHP code written outside the block tag will be displayed as it is on the browser. So what that actually means is that anytime you write a PHP code outside the opening and closing tag, it will display it like as it were, garbage in, garbage out. So let me save this and show you how you're going to view this on the browser. Remember, you are working on your local machine. So in that case, if you go to your browser, you come here, you start with localhost for you to view what you are working on the browser. Localhost / the name of the folder you are currently working on. I'm working on PHP_tutorial. So here I'll come here and say PHP_tutorials. Then / the name of the file you want to view on the browser, which is index.php. That is how you view it. So let me display this by using echo. Don't worry about this command. I'll talk about echo and the rest. Echo. Let me just come here and echo my name. Echo name. And save that. So I go to the browser. I refresh this. So you can see it echoed my name on this browser. You can see that. Let me make the browser big so you can see that. You can see that that's me. So you can see this is how we display or echo PHP code on the browser. So if you write any PHP code with outside the opening and closing tag of PHP, the browser will only see that just a plain text. For example, if I come here and I do this, school equal to Unilag, then I come here and I say echo school. It will see this as a plain text. Let me save this and show you. If I refresh this now, you just see that it's saying this as a plain text. School equals Unilag, echo school. And you know why it's seen as a plain text? Because we did not put it inside the opening tag and the closing tags. So let us now put it inside the closing tag and the closing tag. So if I save this now, I go to the browser to refresh this. You can see Unilag just showed. So that is what that is telling you about. So the next thing is every PHP statement should end with a semicolon. So any PHP statement you write should be ended with what? A semicolon. So for example, if I take this away this semicolon from Unilag, I will get an error. You can see that already on the screen. My IDE has started showing me an error. See, warning. So I should get a syntax error when I refresh the browser. So you can see pass error, syntax error. That is what that is telling you about. So another one is if they are only plain PHP code, then you don't need to close the you don't need the closing tag. So for example, like this one now, I have just plain. These are all plain PHP code. So because they are plain PHP code, I don't need to add the the closing tag. I can take away this closing tag and nothing will happen if I save this. So I save this, refresh the browser, you can see nothing happen because they are all PHP plain text. I'm sorry, plain code. I mean, so you don't need to close it. But if I have other HTML text or CSS or JavaScript code, I have to close my PHP. I hope you understand that. So let's look at the next one. Echo print is a function used to print data on the browser. I have used echo to display some stuff on the browser. I have used echo here. Now echo is used to what? Display the output on the browser, to display the data on the browser. Likewise print. So if I come here and take this echo, I also use print. I will also do the same thing if I use print function. Print school. So let's save this and refresh the browser. So you can see it's on print school. So if I come here and say Uniben, print put Uniben, and I save this and I click on and I refresh the browser, you can see. So the echo and print do the same thing here. They help to display the data on the browser. So I hope you understand this field PHP syntax, because we're going to look at more syntax as we progress in the course. So thanks very much. I'll see you guys in the next class.